Tori, good evening to you.
Hello, Simon.
How are you?
I'm very well.
It's been a while since our last Sunday afternoon conversation, but now, that was like a best of and a greatest hits, everything shaped like a piano. And
Yes.
and that was very nice. But now we have a new album, and what an extraordinary record. I don't know where to start, really. So I'll just say over to you, Tori, to explain, and then I'll interrupt if at any point I don't understand what on earth you're talking about.
Well, tell me where to start. Tell me where we should begin.
Okay, let's begin with the fact that if you look at the 23 tracks, they're clearly divided into 4 from the spacing.
Okay, very good.
Let's start there.
Double album. It comes out in vinyl. And my 15-year-old niece looked at me and said, "Hey, Auntie, what's this? It looks like a Frisbee." I said, "No, Kelsey, it's called vinyl." And so, yes, I wanted to have that vinyl to touch. I love it. I love lacquer. And so the record company, they agreed, and that was a very wonderful surprise.
But that's a limited edition, isn't it?
It
It's
is,
generally
yes.
going to be bought in one of these CD things, in which it's a single CD.
Yes, but for those people who love that format of double albums, which I grew up on, the White Album and others like that, I wanted people to understand what I was up to.
Yes,
So
and
that's
there's
what-
that physical pleasure to be had from opening it up, taking out the sleeve with the record in it, and then that crackle as the vinyl is removed from the inner sleeve.
Yeah, it's ecstasy.
Then you look at the grooves and the run-out groove.
Yeah.
That's all gone.
Yeah, I
Kids
know, I
today,
know.
they don't get that.
No, I'm dating myself, but yes. But there are those people that are collecting it, and because of the dance movement, the DJs really love their vinyl. So there is a generation coming up behind us that do love vinyl. So I wanted
and
to
also,
put it out.
one other great thing, it usually came with a lyric sheet in which you didn't have to have a microscope to read every word. Now this, I have to say, on your CD, the words are there, all the people you want to thank, it's there. If I hold it a foot away, can't see it, 3 feet away, it starts to come into focus.
Yeah, I know, Simon, but then I would have had to have gotten rid of the girls a bit. I would have had to make less pictures of the girls.
Before we
So-
discuss the girls, and I'm aware we haven't discussed a thing about this record at all, other than that it is available on vinyl.
Yeah.
When you do finally get the credits into focus, and you're thanking everyone you've ever met, and then it says, but most of all, the Cornish fairies. Then what are you thanking Cornish fairies for?
Because, I've been down there for a while now, and they've been very good to me. They keep the record company away. They make it really difficult for them. One time they wanted to land their chopper, their helicopter at the Bude Rugby Club. Honestly.
It's the Bude Rugby Club wanted to land their helicopter, not the Cornish fairies.
No, it was the New Yorkers who wanted to land a chopper at the Bude Rugby Club.
Right.
And it's been very difficult for record company people to do that for the last many years. Weather, the gales blowing, all kinds of fabulous things. So I think the Cornish fairies are working overtime.
Enough of that, because clearly people will be thinking, what is Tori going on about?
The Cornish aren't, though. The Cornish aren't confused about this. They know. They
No.
do know about it.
No, most Cornish think there are no such thing as fairies.
That's not what I hear. That's not what the builders tell me. They wink.
You got the wrong builders.
No, seriously.
What's this album about, Tori?
Well, what do you think it's about?
That's not really the way the interview is supposed to go. Okay, let me run some ideas past you. On the cover of this, okay, the artwork is a good place to start, as we haven't got anywhere so far.
Yeah.
It's called American Doll Posse, and we have 5 different women on the front,
Yes.
all being played by you.
Yes.
Can you describe each one in a sentence, left to right?
Santa holds the Aphrodite character type. I love her wardrobe. It's just come in for the door.
Santa,
Santa, yes.
right?
Yes.
Not Santa Claus?
Oh, no.
Not Santa Baby?
No.
Okay, and wearing a kind of a green chiffon thing and white Helen Mirren style hair. Next.
Clyde. Her original name would be Clitorides.
Right.
And she's lovely.
Next.
That would be Isabel. She documents things.
She's holding a large camera.
Yes.
Next.
We'll call her Tori. I thought that made sense.
Holding a chicken.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be a cockerel. It went all wrong. America has the eagle. So I thought the posse would be nice to have a pet cockerel. And then 2 days later, Colin the cock was a hen.
There are advantages sometimes to the CD cover rather than the album cover.
Yes,
Keep that microscope away. And finally,
that's Pip. And she wears rubber.
That'll do. So why do we have 5 different women with different characters, different personalities, different wardrobes, not just represented on the cover, but clearly with their own songs on this record?
Well,
I feel as though we're getting to the heart of things
Well,
now.
you and I had this conversation last time. Remember, you asked me what was coming next, and I said that there was a change coming. Do you remember that conversation?
Yes, completely different, and you wouldn't tell me anything about it.
No, I wouldn't. Because I thought that that was the end of just a time frame. And maybe in my early 40s, some really good things have happened. Waking up, feeling different.
You know, in that last interview, you wouldn't really tell me anything
And I'm
about
still
this
not
new
telling
record.
you.
You're still not telling me a blind thing about this record. So, we have 5 different women.
Yeah.
They have 5 different personalities. They have their own songs. They have their own wardrobe.
Yes.
What are you trying to get at, Ms. Amos?
I want you to come to the show. And I want you to experience it, and I want you to listen to the music.
I may well do that. However, all I have at the moment is this CD.
Could you imagine if we were married? Would we get anything done?
No, I suspect we probably wouldn't. Because you'd be away with your Cornish fairies, and I'd be trying to organise things.
Yes, but it could be hours of endless fun.
Okay, but we don't have hours. So is there anything else about this record that you can tell me about these characters before I lose the will to live?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a war going with the Christian right wing in America.
That's right. You remember them.
So as a minister's daughter, one has to think, okay, what is the thing that they abhor the most? And you realize that they are very much about their monotheistic, authoritative male God. And the last thing that they want to sanction or welcome into the fold would be the mother gods. So I thought to myself, if one is going to combat this force, it must be with ideology. So let's go back pre-Christian, bring on the chicks. And so I went to the Greek pantheon and fashioned my female character types after these ladies.
So really, you're just trying to be annoying.
Yeah, but in a cute frock.
That'd be a good review. Annoying, but in a cute frock, so that's okay. There's one particular picture then that maybe gets to the heart of it, where one of your characters, that'll be Tori,
Yeah.
will it? Is standing in front of a large, if nondescript, frankly dull house.
Puritanical.
Puritanical house is clearly the word I was reaching for. You're holding a Bible and you have blood coming down your leg.
Yes.
Is that the most provocative, would you say, of the pictures?
Well, I would say Dad didn't really have a lot to say about it, but Mom winked at me and said, yes.
Okay. What did your dad's silence tell you?
That he wouldn't be asking for a larger size of the picture and putting it up in the family home.
And what did your mum's wink tell you?
That if I could get her a larger size of the picture, that she would.
What do you think your dad would say to his mates?
It depends which mates. He has 2 sets of mates. They're those at the church, but Dad's a little up in arms with some of the fathers of the church, because I think he is feeling that some of them are a bit hypocritical. And yes, it's a little late in the day for Dad to see this, but I think that that's on the right path.
When you do this show for this record, and you're taking this out on tour, how is this going to manifest itself? Are all 5 women going to turn up separately?
You mean in one night?
Yeah, lots of room for wardrobe changes.
Yeah, but you must admit that that would be a little bit of the relay race of how many costume changes I can achieve in one night instead of having an act 1 and an act 2. So to develop the narrative, we're going to have one of the 4, who isn't Tori, to take stage first, and it will be different every night. You could put in a request, depending on what city you're in, whoever you are, and we'll see if she materializes.
So
And,
please open with Santa.
for example,
Yeah.
yes. And then Tori, of course, will come on in Act 2, mainly because she has access to that big back catalog.
Quite useful.
Yeah, it is.
So might any of these other characters develop their own life and have their own recording contract and do more stuff?
Well, you know, that's a really good question. Maybe I should sit down with Ziggy Stardust and have this conversation. But all stories have to come to an end. So the plan now is that there are online journals, and the shows run till Christmas. There are over 100 shows, about 120. And then that will be end of the story of the posse.
Never to be heard of again, as far as you know.
Well, that's my plan, Simon. I mean, I'm not seeing Santa's favorite songs from torch singers, but you never know. As of now, this is a story, and I think I know where it's going. But I do know there's an element of improvisation that I can't determine. And if I'm fair about it, it's sort of exciting. I know that they'll be exposed to people, these characters, and people to them. And you've got to figure that events will happen and stories can change.
Your audience by now probably is used to expecting something different, aren't they?
Probably. So's my dad.
Long-suffering. Tori, it's a delight as ever. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Simon.
The new album, American Doll Posse.